We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm John McQuiston. Does marijuana work as medicine, or does the pot lobby push for so-called medical marijuana to pave the way to make it legal for anyone to smoke dope? If some proponents have their way, we'll have to answer that question next year when the issue appears on the ballot.
Who would not feel for Ryan Roman? For 8 years, he has battled aggressive cancer of the brain and the spine that has left him in a wheelchair. Marijuana, he says, is not recreation. It is a rescue. And he doesn't like what he calls the choice between the law and his life.
I'm just trying to live my life. I don't know how that could possibly be wrong.
Stories like his and that of Kathy Jordan, the parish woman who says that smoking pot has helped her stave off Lou Gehrig's disease for a quarter century, have rallied support for legalizing marijuana for medical purposes.
We're going to suggest that smoking marijuana is medical. I would suggest that's a hoax.
Sharon Kramer, executive director of the Manatee County Substance Abuse Coalition, says that the push for medicinal marijuana use has less to do with patients like Ryan Roman and more to making pot appear less dangerous.
Less than 5% are using it for any medical condition like HIV/AIDS or cancer.
But with polls suggesting that 70% of people in Florida support medical marijuana, she works against a tide that includes successful legalization efforts in 19 states so far.
This is legitimate medicine. Study it. If it helps us, if it helps my wife stay alive, why can't it help somebody else?
Drugs like Marinol, made from marijuana, have endured FDA scrutiny, but pot smoke has not. And drug abuse prevention professionals say labeling pot as medicine could send the wrong message to kids.
The perception of harm goes down, and kids think, well, it's medicine, so it should be okay to smoke. I should be okay to smoke that, just as they did with prescription drugs.
People are not listening to the facts, and they're being swayed by snazzy, jazzy ads.
And we might see those ads here. A group backed by prominent attorney John Morgan aims to get the nearly 800,000 petition signatures needed to put the issue on the ballot next year. And it may be hard for voters to see the facts when they hear the stories of people like Ryan Roman.
If I've got to get arrested because I'm doing something illegal, but it's keeping me alive, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing.
You might have noticed the shot that said legalize it, tax it. Sharon Kramer notes that the state makes money from alcohol and tobacco taxes now, but it's only a tiny fraction of their cost to society, she says. Tomorrow, Kramer, Spencer, and other drug abuse prevention specialists from across the region meet in St. Petersburg to look for ways to get their message out in the face of what they expect to be a big advertising campaign in favor of legalizing marijuana in Florida. In the middle of the night, a woman in Palmetto awakens to bullets in the middle of her home. Manatee County deputies say that someone fired shots into 2 duplexes on 72nd Street Court East at about 3:15 this morning. In one of them, they found Brandy Ellerby inside, alone but unhurt. Deputies say most of the gunshots hit the neighboring home, and that one had no one inside. They still look for the shooter, but have no suspects yet. Those cameras that catch red light runners remain unpopular with many drivers who say they exist only to generate revenue. But a judge in Sarasota upheld their legality again this week, and Sarasota police say a recent case shows their worth.
Many people see these as the despised eyes in the sky. The cameras that catch red light runners mean green for municipalities that use them. In the city of Sarasota's budget, they appear as a major source of income. The city started using the cameras in January of last year and now has 20 of them.
But to us, it's about safety, and we think it's going to keep our community safer, reduce the number of serious collisions.
Collisions like this one. May 28th, a red light camera on Fruitville Road catches a pickup truck blowing through a red light and smashing into a car making a left turn. The pickup driver blamed the turning car for the crash.
We were able to pull the video back up, and it clearly showed that the driver of the one vehicle ran the red light and hit the other vehicle, and thus was at fault.
Without the video, Chief DePino says police could never have proven which vehicle caused the crash. She says that whatever money the cameras bring the city means less than making people respect red lights.
They have shown that it has reduced serious crashes, and especially deadly crashes or where serious injuries have occurred.
And drivers might have gotten the message. Last year in the city, cameras caught just over 4,000 red light runners. So far this year, even with 9 more cameras added in March, just over 1,400, well below last year's pace. Is there any stopping the rain? Here's Wendy Ross with a first look at our weather. Believe it when we see it, Wendy. You might need water for a swimming meet. Actually, you certainly need water for a swimming meet. But what if it happens to fall from the sky while you're trying to host it? The Pan American Masters Championship continued today at the Sarasota YMCA at Potter Park, and today swimming was a team sport with relay races mixing men and women and different strokes among the 6 relay events involving about 600 swimmers. Organizers say they accounted for the weather when they made the schedule, so rain has not hurt the meet and may have helped area stores.
They're staying in our hotels and eating in our restaurants and renting our cars, so it's a positive, it's a win-win for everybody.
Competition at the pool continues through Wednesday. The Pan American Games finish with open water races off Siesta Key on Thursday. People on Lido Key saw not competition but commerce today. The St. Armand Circle Craft Festival turned the Circle's tree-lined park into an outdoor craft showcase, its organizers say. It brought a mix of different handcrafted work by the best crafters in the country for people to admire and to buy. Prices range from $3,000 to $3,000. Nick Walenda continued his training for his Grand Canyon wire walk today at Nathan Benderson Park in Sarasota. Nick stepped off the wire after lightning threatened the area. And then the flying Walendas became the splashing Walendas. So Nick is a daredevil, but even he does not walk on a steel cable 25 to 30 feet off the ground holding a long pole during a thunderstorm. And remember that ABC 7 will follow every step of Nick's journey leading up to his trek across the Grand Canyon June 23rd. Washington buzzes with debate about the government collecting Americans' phone records. But at least one politician says they should have seen this coming years ago. That story and more as we continue.